If John doesn't subscribe...
Hello, welcome to this video to celebrate the last week. There were 200 years since the first dinosaur was scientifically described, that being Megalosaurus. So we're going to do a little Jurassic World Evolution 2 build for that. Here I'm placing down a lagoon as a moat. We're not going to put any prehistoric species in here. I guess we could. I considered Ichthyosaurus since it was also discovered around this time, a very old species, but I decided just to stick with Megalosaurus since that was the first dinosaur scientifically named. And for it being 200 years of dinosaurs, we're going to have 200 Megalosaurus, which is absolutely going to destroy my frame rate. I don't know why though, because I often build parks with more dinosaurs than that. But here, yeah, I'm lowering down this terrain here. What I've originally wanted to do was to fill this with an aviary and have a biodome. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the aviaries to line up in any way that worked cohesively at all. So I turned it into a truck tour with guest sections on either ends. When you're lowering terrain in the lagoon walls, there is a maximum it can be lowered to. You can see here on the sides, there's this sort of, you see that pattern there, that's 2 contour lines above. If you're building anything, make sure you just always have contour lines on and camera shake off. And I recommend turning up controller sensitivity, but that's optional, of course. I think you definitely need to turn those off, though, if you're going to build good parks. So yeah, here you can see the water, though, does get way closer to the lagoon wall if you do it this way, compared to how I had it before, and I think there is some pretty cool stuff you could do with that, but we are deleting the water this time. I'm just using it to flatten the terrain since it's faster than the terrain brush. But yeah, this looks kind of cool. I feel like there's some fun stuff we could do here. But yes, anyways, so we're going to have a guest section on either side. We're not building a park around it. It's just like one little area. And it's pretty hard to line up this fence, though, because there's not good markers on the lagoon. What I ended up having to do is to count the lights on the edge of the lagoon. This wasn't as much space as I wanted, so I pulled it out by 1 maximum fence length. Same thing with fence and path. Whenever you're building with either, you just use those to measure any distance to make sure something's equivalent on either side. So here I pulled that one across, and I think it's pretty close to even. It's not perfect, but this whole build is not my highest quality build. I just wanted to have this little video to celebrate 200 years of dinosaurs. I mean, obviously, they existed long before that, but yeah, I was just using this fence here to measure that it was equal on both sides. It was slightly off by about 1 minimum fence length, but it was the best I could do. It was pretty close. So I decided to leave it like that. I did put some aviary domes in here as like little animal shelters, like elephant barns and stuff. And I ended up putting the tour gates on there, which I guess it kind of goes against the point that the tour can go in there anyway. And once I fill these in and put 10 Megalosaurus in each, there's no room at all for the tour to go through. It just really does not work. So yeah, here I just pulled the tour track around. I'm gonna change it some. We did need an arrival point in here. I decided to have at first a more facility section and then a guest section. I'd end up deleting the whole facility section. I was gonna do something with the control center here because you can make the path go through it on one side and not the other, and you can get like a security checkpoint. I didn't do that, but I did use the amphitheater in a pretty cool way. The Megalosaurus didn't end up going in here, but there you can see I placed the monorail at the entrance just to, I don't know, just to have the monorail there. I guess that area doesn't really need height or anything in particular, already having the amphitheater, but it's a cool way to use the monorail track. It's a gate. We are releasing all of these Megalosaurus from one hatchery, though, for space. Because I didn't ever place more hatcheries since I'd already placed the tour track for some reason. Don't worry, that path's temporary. I know it's really ugly. This whole build is not highly decorated. And I've had issues with the optimization of this game, as everyone has. But particularly since I switched to a next-gen console, I haven't been able to build anything. If you're following the Island Park series that I do, there's been serious frame rate issues with that, and we barely have any dinosaurs at all. There's much higher quality builds that are done on console than that, and they run fine. So I think it's probably just an optimization issue, because it's already a pretty small park. And this too, when I build a full park, they often end up with 200, 300 dinosaurs in them. And way more detail than this, but the framer is just struggling here. Don't know why that is. So yeah, these, I didn't want to go totally biodome, but I did give some uniqueness to each of these aviaries. Slightly different theming from the outside. And I did just keep the Mediterranean biome on the outside, but I did different paleo trees in each one of these and such. So yeah, you can see these rocks really fill up the space, and then there's basically nowhere for the Megalosaurus to go except on the track. Which is really funny, because you'll see once the build's done, they just destroy the vehicles, and the vehicles just keep going into the aviaries, but they can't get through. I'm using some more arid patterns for the Megalosaurus, but a little bit of variation. In all honesty, Megalosaurus looks pretty cool, and I think it's a cool dinosaur, but something about the skull looks weird to me. There's just better medium theropods, I think. It's like its skull is drooping down. And it doesn't feel like a deluxe dinosaur to me, if that makes sense. It just feels like there's a few other carnivorous theropods we have in the game that I just rather use. I don't see... There's rarely use for Megalosaurus, and since parks take so long to build now, you know, good builders take, what, 4 months to finish a park at this point? So you're really only building like 3 or 4 parks a year. And so you really have to pick your species for that park, because I feel like there's some species I've never used in a sandbox park. Even though I try to keep some species variation. Some I just never get around to using, and because I don't have a specific reason to, and yeah, I just can't build 10 parks a year anymore. Which is a good thing overall, because, you know, but also we're limited by the biomes. You can't even build a park in each biome once a year. And, you know, you forget things are in the game sometimes, and it's great having this immersive experience where you pick, and at this point, it feels like the options are not limited, not limitless, that's not the right word, but, you know, I have so many dinosaurs to choose from that people often talk about new species they want in the game, and there are a few I'd like to see. Specifically, I'd like to see a crocodilian now that we have the Lagoon Islands. I'd like to see of course, the aviary species we've been talking about, Microceratus, and a couple others, maybe a Raushukian or something, a couple Triassic things, but overall, we have 95% of the species people want, which I think is really great on Frontier's part, but we need the river tour. I've been saying it for over 5 years, and, well, yeah, about 5 years. I'm not going to stop. We need the river tour. I know there's mods for it, but still, a lot of people don't like to mod their game, and a lot of people are on console, so it's just such a necessary thing. And they've shown that they're willing to add new attractions, and I feel like the river tour is one of the easiest ones they could add, because it's just a reskin of the tour vehicle, really. You might want to do some different things with interaction with the track, but it's going to be pretty simple to do, I think, compared to, like, the zipline would take... I'm sure that took so much work to do the zipline, and the viewing domes. Well, I guess the viewing domes are a similar system to what we already had with the Hyperloop, but still, you have to model an entirely new building, new animations for guests to where they'd stand and stuff, compared to the river tour, which I think would be extremely easy, and I think would make a great anniversary gift for this game to close out the developments at the end of this year, because I think this will be our last year of development with the new movie coming probably next year. I still think it's likely to be delayed, even with them being so stuck on this release date. In all, I think we're getting an aviary pack next week. I might not be able to cover the news when it comes out, depending on when it's announced. If I can't, Sorry about that, but there will definitely be a showcase whenever this next DLC releases in a couple weeks. So, subscribe to see that, and yeah, we'll have that video whenever that comes out. Very excited for that. I am calling Aviary Pack, as I did when the Marine Species, when the Marine Species Pack came out. You can go watch that video on my channel. I don't remember which one it is. I have 2 on that pack. I said they're going to do another DLC, and then they're doing an Aviary Pack. And hopefully that's going to be the case. I tried to keep a Mediterranean biome, but if you've ever been to the Mediterranean, or at least a lot of places there, there's a huge biome diversity. You have a lot of those tall, like almost taiga-looking trees that I tried to use here. But then you also have these unique Mediterranean trees. Then you have more tropical-looking trees. Then you have more temperate-looking areas. And I tried to mix those together, and I ended up pretty happy with the biome. I kept it pretty simple. I just placed some... Yeah, just feeling like, oh, look at this glitch, yeah. When the Megalosaurus spawn out of the aviary. But anyways, I think I nailed the biome without placing many individually placeable trees. Outside the aviary, that is. So yeah, I'm just creating some mountain ranges because this needs something to make the area feel bigger, even though it's already a huge area. I don't want this big open safari plain, because that's not what I'm trying to do. And the region is relatively mountainous anyway. I mean, I guess Malta's an island, so probably not as much, but still. Here's releasing a bunch of Megalosaurus. This took me like 30 minutes just releasing. Not even like 20, but yeah, I'll cut out a lot of this for you. I'm trying to get up to 200 Megalosaurus. I did end up getting enough, but here I'm just very simply, very crudely building this guest section right here. Don't mention this decoration work. I know it's not good. It's not meant to be. We're just here to celebrate I know this video is late. It was last week, but yeah, you can see just how bad this frame rate is at this point. And I didn't even have the frame rate or time to finish this guest area over here. So what I decided to do is make this area under construction. I'm putting piles of sand, and I like putting the same rock in a row to make it look like they're fake rocks. You know, just your crane shipping crates and all that normal stuff that you put in an under construction area. Here you can see a view of the completed build. I think it looks pretty good. Something like this would fit into a huge park pretty well. But I was saying, we can't even build huge parks anymore. It would take like a full year to build a full map on the square map, like 100 hours. And the game would crash anyway, so I can't really build parks like that. Maybe some people with a lot of free time and really powerful PCs could. But that's not many people. Here you can see what I mean with the Megalosaurus just entirely destroying these vehicles.
You see in the park as a socially accepted leader. For some species, this leader is recognized. You may well witness dinosaurs attempting to establish dominance, and it can be worrying.
Here's a glitch that happened with capture mode. I've had this sometimes when you go to the sky and then exit capture mode, you can get stuck underneath the map. I was eventually able to get out, but yeah, here you can see I'm underneath the lagoon, and then I end up underneath the main map. I was stuck in here for like 15 minutes, and I have had it before where I was not able to get out. Thankfully, I had saved recently, and I was able to just go back. But yeah, it's an interesting perspective. If there wasn't any grass, this would kind of look cool. Yeah, anyway, thank you everybody for watching this video. And I hope you enjoyed. You can see a little bit more capture mode, and I'll go to the 200th Megalosaurus so you can see that there are in fact 200. Thank you for watching.